welcome back. It's time for Joy News Interactive, and today I am solo. So today we have many things on the menu, but you know how you can join us. You can join us on Facebook and also on Twitter. It's on your screen. Those are the ways you can join us. Also via mail, my Joy News at multitvworld.com. Now, our very first topic, Ghanaians are now being very creative. Just look at this. Look at this. So that's a picture of a plantain shooting out of the middle of the road. I don't know who planted it there, but yes. We will get that issue very soon, but it's meant to block a pothole. Well, yesterday, many people woke up to a rude shock that 25 married women had been sharing stories of cheating on their husbands, and Facebook has been buzzing. Why do women cheat? I know you're waiting for that. And lastly, Abuga Pele and the private service provider Philip Asibit have been convicted for causing financial loss to the state. Now, as I told you, today is packed. Abuga Pele and Philip Asibit are in the coolers as I speak. There are varied reactions to their incarceration. Abuga Pele would be in jail for 6 years, while Mr. Asibit would be doing 12 years. They face charges ranging from aiding and abetting crime to willfully causing financial loss to the state. Now, what do you make of all the sentences given them?
Coming across the sentence, in fact, I was really shocked why that sentence, because previously I thought it was 26, but later that I think they corrected themselves and they say 6 and 12. But I think if you have committed a blinder, or maybe if you have embezzled public funds, then the law should deal with you.
Anyone who has committed an offense should be sentenced. Yes, that one there, so that everybody should take precaution.
Talking about their sentencing concerning this same issue, that is a proper legal action. That is a proper legal action. I cannot challenge or give challenge on that. But everything that the government does about it is actually fair.
When people commit crimes, falter the law, there should be a way of redressing it. When they are given a fair deal, as in they go through due diligence of the law, whatever the outcome is, I feel it's okay. Because you have competent judges sitting down and deciding on that matter.
Okay, let's go now to Facebook to see what you've been saying about this particular topic. And Bra Ishmael writes, Abuga Pele handed over 10 years in prison, 10 years of free food, free accommodation, free medical, and zero money refund. Democracy is enemy of man. Let the dude pay our money, period. Now, Prince Cash Amwa says, I don't agree with the judgment. He should be made to return all the monies, or the state should sell all his properties. He'll be out soon. 6 years is not enough. And Edmund Soa says, this is childish. This is a childish sentence because the court should also send his wife and children to another 10 years for refusing to advise the father and thus returning all government property. That's a bit harsh, isn't it? Now, Bernard Latte says 6 years? 6 years is like 4.5 years in prison terms. 60 years will make more sense. Thousands died in our hospitals because the state's money was stolen. And Yao Brintu is saying, oh, why imprisonment? Why do you want to waste our taxes on these people? Let them refund the money or sell their properties to pay for the money. This is called justice, not imprisonment. And Mark Afi says, Mark says, okay, Mark comes back to reply to John Braintree and says, Ghanaians don't read but quick to comment on issues. How can't you fail law school exams with poor attitude towards reading? And Braintree replies, if you don't understand someone's point of view, message the person privately and let the person explain things to you before you comment on his or her view. So that's the banter between them. Raindorf de Baron says, nonsense, 6 years saying he should come back and develop another strategy to dupe the country again, Abi. How many years was given to that poor man who stole a common, miserable he-goat? Now, Chris Fanuel says, I'm back again. Is it with hard labor or zero labor? See, it's about time all corrupt statesmen have to pay the due price. I know of a man who stole only 30 cedis and he was sentenced to 8 years with hard labor. Most prisoners on remand are innocent of what they did not do, but are still facing injustice, all in the name of suspect. It's time overdue when all those who loot state money ought to be castrated in order for them to know how the taxpayer suffers in the mercy of the hot, scratchy sand. Okay, moving on, and Bright T-Bone says 6 years is too small. Seems a lot of you feel that the sentence handed down is not harsh enough. Anyway, so Bright says someone robbed a lady of 100 Ghana and a phone, was sentenced to 15 years, and you give this man who has swindled the whole Ghana 6 years? This is injustice. FD Brooks also writes, the sentence is not enough, but don't forget, most of these corrupt politicians are smart, that the assets we're talking about are not in their name, so we can't hold or get a hold of them. The only means is to let them pay back our monies with interest. That's all. And then George Forson finally says, if the judgment and sentence are true, then the laws are soft on politicians than Atongo, who stole a fowl and was found to be possessing cannabis and was sentenced to the same 10 years in prison. This is Africa for you. Now, the picture I showed you earlier has set Facebook on fire. Many accounts and Facebook pages are sharing the picture. Personally, I think it's quite ingenious. I would love to invite these people to storm my neighborhood and plant coconut trees on my road, because my road is worse off. I mean, do you think that's the right way to get government to fix our roads?
I think that may be the right way to do such a thing. Yes, if we are looking for a solution to such problems, then we need to maybe approach the case on maybe, let me say, a gradual process and do it officially.
That is not the best way. That is not the best way. And then, roads are actually there for we pupils in Ghana, or in a community, if I should put it. For the safety of we humans, I think it's not the best.
Not appropriate though, but I think that's the only way people want to get the president to get to know what is actually happening. Because there are several ways, people have tried several means to get the president to know the roads we are riding on is very bad. But it looks like the attention is not coming on, so the drastic one has to be taken. That's how come people are planting those kind of plantings on the road.
I think they've done their bit, and for it trending on social media, it's not always right. It's not 100%, but I think for what they have done, they've been able to draw the attentions of the powers that be. So for me, it's something that they thought well to do. It's an equal measure.
So that topic has elicited a lot of responses on Facebook. So let's go straight to Facebook and see what people are saying. And Omar Ahmed says, when we say our journalists are lazy, people won't understand. Instead of going to speak to the community where these things were planted and reporting to us the outcome of your interactions with them, you are here asking us rhetorical questions. Well, Omar, these are not rhetorical questions. We definitely will go on the ground. As soon as we saw it, we just put it out there for people to give their views, but we will certainly be going there. Now, Kwesi Boateng Ayepa, I think in response to Omar, says, at least their methodology has caught the attention of multimedia. So what makes you think the government won't hear? Multimedia has taken a chunk of the airwaves. So you being aware means the government is probably also aware. Now, Dan Kwesi Biye says, I believe they did that to draw the attention of the leadership to their problem. However, they should be careful not to make it a hindrance to motorists. And Justin Mokpopo says, talking is not working. So what do you expect? If you don't like it, come for a lighter and go burn in the sea. Oh, Justice, I think that's a bit too harsh. And Francis Ampong says, yes, citizens should wake up and demand from leaders basic amenities to make life comfortable. I wonder why government appointees who we elect suddenly don't obey traffic rules, but ride in so-called V8 cars that are used as household cars to drop kids at school in UAE with police escort. Eshon Jonathan writes, this is very good, and I think if the president sees this, he will know where the country Ghana is heading to. Yusuf Fatau Lelsel says, exactly, but I call it planting for food and jobs. Interesting. Abu Sadiq says, what's the Barca label doing at the top? Oh, really? I didn't really see it. Recent guy, Kwejo Asante says, is that the good way to get the attention of the government? You'll only see this in Ghana. And Avonio Prosper Anthony writes, what do you also think? And Victor Kwashi also says, planting for food and jobs. And Kole Kieti says, one pothole, one plant policy. Interesting comments there.